All right. Hello, everybody. It is Dee here, and I am here with Coach Mara, who is one of our new coaches in the Boss Body Revolution. So Mara is a level 3 certified personal trainer. She has been working with clients in the gym for quite some time now. She lives in the UK, and her mission is to empower women to step outside of their comfort zones, to really take advantage of fitness and health and use fitness and health as a way to really transform their confidence and lifestyle. She runs a blog called The Fit Londoner. And I invited her to our coaching team because she's just a total badass. She runs marathons. You do biking races too, right? Or just
Yeah, so I do triathlons and ultra marathons as well.
Yeah, and she's so motivating, so inspiring, and she's so passionate about what she does and helping women feel confident. So great to have you here, Mara.
Hey, yeah, no, I'm so happy to be a part of the team.
Amazing, amazing. So I would love to just ask you some questions. So these are some questions that I came up with just to get to know you better. A few questions from our audience as well. And we'll wrap things up with some fun questions at the end, do a little rapid fire round. So why don't you just start off by sharing your story? How did you get into fitness? What got you to where you are right now?
So my younger brother was applying for American universities, and the system for American universities, as we learned, is so different to England. And so he was doing all this crazy stuff alongside his studies, like I can't remember now, like setting up his own business and all these other things, and doing rowing and basketball and running. And I was looking at him whilst I was working, and I was like, wow, like this is so inspiring. I'm not really doing anything that interesting. So my brother really motivated me and inspired me to kind of get out there. And so it started off going to the gym and then doing short runs. And then I was like, you know what, like, let me build it up and up. And then so I ran, once I ran my 4th or 5th marathon, I was like, you know what, let me do something that is so different to what I've done before, something that, really gets me, something that I'm really motivated to do, that will make me, blood, sweat and tears, all of that. That's the kind of thing that works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for everyone. And so I decided to sign up for an Ironman triathlon, which
like a full Ironman, or like a sprint Ironman, or the
full Ironman. So which is just under 4 kilometers swim, 180k bike ride, and then a marathon run. And then after I did that, I was like, wow, like that was hard. That was so tough, but let me try something that was, learning something new. I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. So then I've done ultra marathons, and since then I've kind of, that's when I decided to qualify as a personal trainer. And I decided that, I wanted to encourage other women out there to, really discover the beauty of stepping outside your comfort zones, because you don't know what doors will open when you do step outside those comfort zones. Like, there are so many things that I've learned, and also the skills that I've transferred into my daily life as a result of this.
Like what?
So, I mean, like, for example, basic skills like being more disciplined, being more organized, and learning to be in the job that you love is really important, because being stuck in a job day to day, waking up and getting out of bed and thinking, I don't want to go to work, that is not a good feeling to have. And I think things like sports and exercise actually encouraged me to, step outside my comfort zones and, try and apply for a completely new job. So, I mean, I PT alongside my day job in finance. So I work in communications, in PR as well. And, learning to balance as well is something that I have developed through exercise and sports.
Totally. I can totally see that. So right now you are at a place where you are running ultra marathons, doing Ironman, multiple Ironman. Yeah. Tell me, like, how did you actually get started in that? So for somebody, like, think about somebody who's listening to this who
Mm.
isn't really in the habit of working out and maybe wants to get to your level of really pushing themselves. How did you just start? What was your starting point?
Well, I mean, okay, so realistically, if anyone does want to do get to the point of doing an Ironman, doing what I did in terms of going from a marathon to with no triathlon experience to completing an Ironman isn't necessarily the best of ways for everyone. So what I would say is taking baby steps is
Okay.
really, really important. Um, have a goal,
Mm-hmm.
and break that goal into short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. Your
Yeah.
Ironman could be your long-term goal, or weight loss, losing a particular amount of weight, or lifting a particular amount of a kettlebell or a barbell could be your long-term goal. But then having a medium-term goal and a short-term goal will enable you to reach that goal and also keep you motivated.
Totally. So for you, what were your baby steps that you started off with?
So my baby steps were, in order to complete the triathlon, was getting confident in swimming,
Mm-hmm.
and being more confident on the bike. And then my medium term goal was to be able to swim longer,
Mm-hmm.
cycle longer, run on tired legs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's how I broke it down for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what in thinking about your fitness journey from kind of seeing your brother get into it and you being inspired by that to where you're at right now, what are some of the biggest things that you struggled with, either mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally? Yeah.
So I think things that I mean, generally, when I train for long distance events, I think the things that I can struggle with are motivation,
Yeah.
because when it gets long, you really have to stick through it. But with these sorts of occasions, and you have to connect with your why. You have to really have a strong why. Why are you training for this? Why are you trying to lose a certain amount of weight? Why are you trying to work towards lifting 50 kilos on the barbell? You have to have a strong why, because when you go through those down and those low moments, you can remember, that is why, I have this why, and this will help me to get through
Yeah.
it.
So, what was your why when you started?
So for me, my why, sorry, not
Your
wow.
wow.
My why was, for me personally, to step outside my comfort zones, because when I was younger, I had a phobia of deep water, and I hadn't really cycled as an adult. I used to cycle a lot when I was younger, but not as an adult. And there was something about an Ironman that really appealed to me. So I was like, you know what, doing this will prove that I can overcome this phobia, and I can do it. It sounds tough, but I can do this.
I love that.
And then overall, during the training, I kind of began to see that there was fewer women taking part in lots of these different types of events. So it then changed my angle slightly to becoming more about it as a way of me doing it, as a way to encourage other women that they too can do things like this. And there will be their ups and downs. It isn't going to be an easy journey,
Yeah.
and I will show that. But once you reach the final, the finishing line, you will be so happy with what you've achieved.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so that's awesome, because one of my next questions was, how do you motivate yourself to work out when you don't feel like it? And I love that you share, really just think about your why, think about why you're doing this, why you want to lose weight, why you want to finish that Ironman, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Are there any other hacks you use or things you use to motivate yourself when you don't feel like it?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that I would say is that everyone has their own Ironman. That could be, so everyone has their own mountain to climb. And
Quote of the year.
What, sorry?
I said quote of the year. Everyone has Iron Woman. We can even do an Iron Woman.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's cliche, but it is you versus you. I think that is very important to remember. You know, don't compare your goals or your journey to someone else, because they may be at a completely different point in their journey to you. No one is at the same point.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. So, okay, when it comes to health and fitness, what is something that most people get wrong?
So I think what most people get wrong is they don't lift, well, women in particular, they don't lift weights. There's a lot of women will think, oh, I'll get too bulky if I lift weights. No, we won't. We really won't. Like, lifting has so many benefits on the body, for the female body as well. You know, it's about finding an exercise or a sport that you enjoy. That can be, and that is the thing is, it can be anything. Movement is key, but it doesn't matter how you define it for yourself. It can be different to other people. So for example, your reason for exercise, your way of moving could be walking to work. It could be going up the stairs instead of taking the, what do you guys call it, elevator? No, wait, lift. Yeah, elevator. And you know, so you can build this into your daily lives, and you can still be active without having to go to the gym.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, I love that. So what most people get wrong about health and fitness is that they don't lift weights, they compare themselves to other people, and they kind of don't see it as like a journey. They see it more like a fast, kind of quick fix thing. So what about you? How did you get into lifting weights?
So for me, it was because when I went to the gym's induction, I went to the personal trainer was showing me the different equipment, and he showed me the bench press, and he said to me, oh, but you know what, actually doesn't matter. You don't need to know about this because that's for men only.
Oh
and so I was like, what that doesn't seem right. And then I started speaking to other people, and they were like, actually, you know what, women can do it too. So then I started you know, doing basic exercises with dumbbells, and seeing that progress in my strength actually really motivated me, because I mean, I wasn't gaining this muscle that people were saying that I would get. Not in that conventional way. I was building muscle, but I wasn't turning bulky. And then slowly seeing that strength encouraged me to try heavier and heavier. Now I'm also part of a CrossFit box, and being able to try the different pieces of exercises with that, it's really, really interesting. Like, I mean, I did a front squat for the first time in years last week, and being able to try that was just like, wow, this is so liberating, and wow, I want to see how I can build on to next week, and so on. So yeah,
I love that. So you start off with dumbbells and you kind of work yourself up from there. Yeah, dumbbells are an awesome way to get started. We have a free dumbbell workout guide for anybody who's watching this. It's linked below to help you get started. Going to use that as a plug for it. It's awesome. A lot of other women have used it to get started with weights.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you started with weights and you expanded into CrossFit, and you just kind of love that feeling of strength all over your body. That's amazing. So kind of along a similar vein, I want to talk about body image. So for you, how do you kind of think about body image? How did your body image change once you started getting into fitness and lifting?
So I think when I first started, I was really obsessed and addicted to the whole clean eating. And I think a lot of people were at the time, you know, and it got to a point that I was counting my macros, which I think is really, really good. But I think if you get really obsessed with the numbers,
Yeah.
it can play with your mind. And I think what is very important with macro counting is that you don't make it so restrictive on your life. Like
Yeah.
if you're going out, that is totally fine.
Totally.
Um, and I think then, but I think macros were a really interesting way for me to actually understand why certain foods were better than other foods.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
And I think learning that helped to develop my relationship with food as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, we use macro tracking to teach our clients in the BBR.
exactly. And I think
Yeah.
it is a great way to develop a relationship, improve your relationship
I think it's
with
great for just
food.
education, like learning what contains carbs, how much protein do I need, like all that stuff, like a baseline education.
Yeah,
But again,
exactly.
you can easily turn obsessive. I think what we aim to do is usually like the 80-20 rule, like 80% of the time stick to your macros, but 20% of the time have fun. Or not
Exactly.
90-10.
Exactly. And I think that have fun is really, really important.
Yeah.
And now I think that the journey to that has become now so that I now understand that, you know, having something like rice 2 times a day or 3 times a day isn't the most healthiest of options. There are alternatives
Yeah.
to rice, like quinoa,
Yeah.
and which is also really good. Oh my god, quinoa! I'm really obsessed with
So good.
those. And you know, there are other sources of protein as well. Don't necessarily have to be chicken.
Totally.
Like tofu is a really good one, or from your pulses
Yeah.
as well. And
So with
yeah.
kind of the macro tracking and clean eating and going through that phase, how did you notice any, like, how did your body image change?
So I think particularly not so much with the macros, but with the clean eating, because I got really, really obsessed with it. Like instead of having chocolate mousse, I would have chocolate mousse with avocado. And I was like, and then I got to a point where I was like, guys, I need to like realize that I need to have fun with what I'm eating as well. um, and yeah, so I think body image wise, they got to a point where what I saw in the mirror was not how I felt. So I mean, looking at my photos now, I was like, wow, like I was in really good shape, but I didn't feel like I felt really fat, and I kept telling myself I'm really, really fat. But actually looking at it now, I'm like, oh, actually it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think learning to develop that body image is really important.
So what helped you? Because I know this is something a lot of our viewers and our audience really struggles with. What helped you develop a more kind of kinder and moderate view of your body?
So for me, it was focusing more on performance as opposed to aesthetics. So learning to appreciate the increase in weights that I could lift, and thinking, wow, you know, today I could lift this. Last 2 weeks ago, I couldn't lift that. That is really important, both focusing on that performance, because then you become a little bit less obsessed with aesthetics, and the aesthetics will come, but you won't be as focused, and actually might become a lot quicker than you expected.
Yeah, totally. I always tell people it's kind of like if you want to get a promotion at work, you want to make more money, you can't obsess about like the money, right? You have to be obsessing about what can I do to get better at my work, to get better at my job, and you focus on like your performance, and then the money comes. And it's the same with your body. You focus on like what it can do in the performance, and the fat's gonna go away, and if you're doing the right stuff, the aesthetics will come.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, one thing I would say is you can't spot reduce. It's like, so if you're looking to lose fat in your stomach, you can't, there is no magic exercise that will remove this fat on your abs. Like it will go away slowly. It will take its time.
Yeah, totally. That was actually one of my questions too. Like, what do you wish all your clients knew about weight loss? What was like one thing you wish people knew?
Okay, so I've said the spot reduce one. My next one would be that it's no linear journey.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, you
Oh.
will have 1 week you might go through an up, 1 week you might go through a down. I mean, like I'm on a weight loss journey myself right now, and last week I lost a lot, and the week before I put on a bit. But so, I mean, overall, you'll see the journey like that, but there's all these little ups and downs that will come about, and they are all part of the journey. You just got to remember your why.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just got to stay consistent. Like every single client that I've worked with, and probably you too, it's been like a jagged line up and down, up and down. The trend is downwards. And I think when people see that first initial fluctuation up, they freak out and they're like, like it's not working. I need to go try a different diet. But if they just stayed consistent, it would all kind of trend downwards.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. So cool, amazing. All right, so let me see what other questions I had for you. Oh, we were talking about food. What's your favorite food to meal prep? Your favorite healthy food?
To meal prep. So, okay, but it depends. Are we talking about lunch?
Either one. Or favorite healthy food to cook, eat.
Okay, so I think my favorite like lunch to cook during the week when I'm really, really busy is just quinoa.
Okay.
And then cook the quinoa as you normally do, and then in just a frying pan, like pan fry, loads of different vegetables, like add a little bit of olive oil, cumin seeds, and then chop loads of different, all the vegetables that you want, and tofu or the shredded chicken if you want, and then just add any spices or herbs that you want, like go crazy with it, but as long as it it's your choice. Mix it all together, and then add a little bit of soy sauce, and then mix it in with the quinoa, and that's your lunch.
That's really delicious. So what are the spices and herbs that you add to make this taste amazing?
So for me, it's turmeric. It depends on my day, really. Some days it'll be turmeric, some days it'll be cumin powder, sometimes it'll be cumin seeds. Smoked paprika is one of my favorites.
I love good. So love that smoky taste.
Yes, exactly. And if you like Middle Eastern flavors, za'atar is also a really good one as well.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
For you, when you think about like your nutrition, and I know you said you're on a weight loss journey as well, how are you approaching that from a healthy mindset? What are your tips you have for people?
Yeah, so I mean, meal prepping in advance is really important. So like today, I had my breakfast was planned, made last night, and then I also included snacks because I know I snack. So my mid-morning snack was an orange. My afternoon snack was 2 rice cakes with peanut butter because I know I love peanut butter, and that gets me through my afternoon slump. And drinking lots of water as well. So you can either have carry a bottle and fill that up with you, or you can have water with a little bit of squash. I find that actually adding water with squash, it's just a little bit.
Like pumpkin squash?
Oh no, I think you might not call it that. Like, I don't know how you describe, like, it's like, I don't know how you describe it.
Squash?
I don't know what pumpkin squash is. It's like this like juice that you add to water. Like you can't drink it by itself.
Oh, okay. It's probably like here we call it like drops. It's like a little syrup drops.
No. It's like a concentrated liquid. It's not flavor drops. Oh my gosh, you don't have this.
I'm Googling this. It says it's a concentrated little syrup, sort of. It's like a juice syrup.
I don't know if I'd call it a syrup, but yeah, it's a concentrated liquid.
Concentrated. Yeah. So interesting.
Okay. So
that's really, it's kind of like putting lemon juice in your water, but just.
Yeah, kind of. Exactly, to flavor it. To flavor the water. And I think that makes it really helpful to easier as well to drink water as well. So
in terms of your own journey, how are you approaching weight loss with a healthy mindset?
So with me, again, I'm not making it I'm not becoming obsessed with that. Again, I'm focusing more on the aesthetic, the performance, sorry. So because I'm also training for a long distance run, an ultra marathon, I'm focusing on the goals that I've set myself for that. And then the weight loss journey will come alongside it.
Got it. Yeah, I love that. So kind of having them both in parallel, so you're not fixated on one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So we talked about your favorite healthy food. What's your favorite indulgent food?
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yes. And
Well,
then if I'm being
how do you balance that into your day? Like, how do you balance indulgences versus?
but you know what? Like, if I'm feeling really, really naughty, dark chocolate dipped in peanut butter.
Oh, I gotta try that. Yeah.
But no, if I to balance that, some days if I don't have peanut butter with rice cakes, I might just have like rice cake with melted chocolate on it.
Ooh, that sounds like an amazing dessert. I need to try that.
Yeah, so I think that's a nice snack for the afternoon slump, and you're just like, oh my God, I need to get through this afternoon.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing. It
yeah.
reminds me of, you know, those like the little crisp bars. There's like rice. Do you have all those chocolate crisp bars with popped rice?
No, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but without the extra calories. It's like just
Yeah,
mostly the
exactly.
puffed rice, and yeah, awesome, awesome. So, okay, amazing. Let's do a rapid fire round because we have a few minutes left. What fun fact? What's a fun fact most people don't know about you?
So apart from sports, I also love music. So I play the piano. I used to play the saxophone and I used
Okay,
to play the clarinet, but I love the piano and I love jazz music.
I love that. You got to post a piano video on your Instagram.
Oh no! No. I'm too shy when it comes to playing it.
I mean, for somebody like me who's like musically stunted, I would find that so impressive because zero musical abilities. Do you speak any other languages?
Yeah, so I speak French and I also speak Gujarati.
Okay. Um, at home?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. I don't know.
Or
I have loads. Like I probably have loads, but I just can't think. Oh my gosh, I can't think.
Okay. Um, do you have a celebrity crush, and if so, who is it?
Oh, okay. So it'll either be John Legend
Okay.
or Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel you.
Or
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
an archaeologist. I really like. I loved history, and I just wanted to be an archaeologist. I was really obsessed with ancient Egyptian history.
So what made you switch from that to kind of finance as well as PTing?
Uh, you know what? When I was younger, I really wanted to be an archaeologist, and I don't know. At one point in my life, I decided not to,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of fell into working in finance because I just really enjoyed. So the role that I do involves working a lot with the news and TV outlets. And I really enjoyed that. So it's just kind of something I fell into, but I really love it.
Yeah.
And then the PTing fell in because from the sports that I was doing,
Yeah, we talked about that.
I wanted to empower and encourage other women to exercise and become more active and step outside their comfort zones. And I thought that becoming a PT would be a way of doing that.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So cool. Are there any other questions that you want the BBR family, the community to know about you?
Ooh.
Any other facts or things? Any advice or last words you'd share?
Stay strong, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, love it, love it. Well, great. So you can find Mara at Mara the Fit Londoner on Instagram. If you go to the BBR page, we'll link her Instagram there in our Instagram highlights. And if you'd like to work with Mara, we are putting the coaching application below, as well as some of our freebies. So make sure you download those. And we will talk to you guys later in the next video. Bye.
Bye.